Mike Owens with Inside Fighting, and it's always a pleasure to be joined by Sam Patterson, who returns to action 1st of March, facing Danny Barlow in a UFC Fight Night. Sam, always a pleasure, my man. How are things with you today?
Thank you very much, man. Pleasure being on always, as always.
First and foremost, this is your Fight Night debut. I thought you were pay-per-views only, considering your last three have all been on numbered cards. Does this feel like a step down or any difference fighting in the Apex rather than the sold-out pay-per-view arenas?
It doesn't matter to me. It could be in a car park if I'm honest. The UFC is the UFC. I am surprised. Like, to be fair, even if I was fighting on the London card, I would have been on a fight night anyway because the next
Mm.
one's a fight. But it is going from three pay-per-views to the Apex. Is a bit different, but to be honest, like I said, a fight's a fight. I could fight in a car park at this point. I am so ready to go out there and perform. Yeah, I don't look at it as a step down. Either one. I'll be back on those pay-per-views very soon.
Is there any difference on Fight Night when you fight in the Apex rather than fighting in an arena? If so, what are the key differences?
Well, it's hard for me to say. There's definitely a difference because when I done the Apex, it was Dana White's Contender Series, so it
Mm.
was like it was no walkout music or anything. I'm sure this is going to be slightly different because it's still like a UFC show. You get walkout music and everything like that. But the Apex is it's like there's not a massive, there's not even though you can't see the people, there's not 20,000 people there watching, So it is going to be slightly different. But I've done it before, so I look forward to going back to like obviously where I started the journey, where I got my UFC contract, going back to the scene of the crime, and do it all again.
Before we talk about your fight, we've obviously got UFC London coming up. I think it's 3 weeks after your fight. Any disappointment that you won't be able to fight back at home, or have you got bigger fish to fry at this stage?
Yeah, no, to be honest, I wanted three fights last year, and unfortunately I didn't get that. So when they offered me March 1st, I wasn't too concerned. March 1st was before the London card. I was like, yeah, put me in. Like, I'd love to fight in London, but at the same time, I think I perform and I do better away because I get isolated. I tunnel vision, and most of my career, most of my fights have been abroad. So I think it works better in my favor fighting abroad. But yeah, it is a bit of a shame. But at the same time, March 1st is before March 22nd. So I want to get out as soon as possible, start this year with a bang. And yeah, I plan on doing so.
What do you make of your opponent, Danny Barlow?
Yeah, he's an animal. He's 9-0 undefeated, come through the contender series as well. I think this is like the first fight in my career that I'm the guy with more experience. So yeah, I think that could play a factor. And yeah, respect the guy. The guy's he can't really he hasn't lost before, so he's undefeated. So you can only respect that. And I think he's a high level. He plays chess, not checkers. So I think it's going to be a good chess match.
With all due respect to the three guys you fought previously, do you look at this as a step up in competition relative to where you are and relative to where he is?
I to be honest, my next fight, even if it was someone, let's say fucking 10-9, it don't matter. Whatever they would be my hardest opponent. I would look at them like my hardest opponent. It's always easy looking back on them when you've went and beat them to go, oh yeah,
Mm.
is this the most experienced guy? Is this the best guy? But the next person in the line is always the most experienced guy and the best guy you're going to face. So yeah, I ain't looking at what I've done before compared to him. He's the next person in my way, so I have to go out there and perform and do the same thing.
His nickname is Left Hand to God. How much of your game plan is avoiding that backhand?
The whole game, no joking. Got a solid left hand. He likes to use it. He's got power. But again, it's like people look at it going, "Oh, it's striker versus grappler." I'm not a grappler, and I'm sure he's not just a striker. If he is, then he's in for a shock. But it's mixed martial arts at the end of the day. I think he's obviously favors his left hand. He lands it. But if I go out there just watching the left hand, then I'll get smacked in the face with the right. So I'm going out there prepared for it all. He might shoot a takedown on me. You never know. So I'm prepared for a mixed martial arts match, and I'll be prepared wherever the fight goes.
100%, mate. I want to bring you back to 2024 because that was a great year for you, especially with, if we're being honest, how the debut went in the UFC debut went in 2023. Just want to talk, I get your thoughts a little bit on the mental fortitude it took for you to come back after that, after what would have been a disappointing debut, and to show two great performances you did, one in January, one later on in the year, and just your overall reflection on what must have been a positive and happy 2024.
Yeah, it was good to go right that wrong, and I think it
Mm.
showed how mentally strong I am. Like if you look at it that way, because to go from like my UFC debut to come off two first round victories, it shows that I was able to come back from that, and that's probably a lot of fighters' downfall. Like sometimes it's not physical. We're all athletes. We're all pretty strong. It's the mental side of the game, and I think I've proven that my mental is pretty solid. And yeah, it was a great year. It would have been great to get one more in. I was pretty healthy coming out of them two fights. Normally, even first round victories or coming out with a victory doesn't mean you come out injury free. But I was pretty good. But it did mean I could get back in the gym and improve my skills. So the guy I am now compared to what I was back in, what was it, July, that I thought I'll kill that guy.
Mm.
Like I'd kill the guy I was then. Has nothing on what I am now. So I'm always improving, and I plan on having even a bigger 2025.
What was the experience like for you? Obviously, you'd already done it in terms of fighting at home, but Manchester a little bit different, little bit of difference with the start time. I don't think that would have affected you too much since you were on pretty early, probably the equivalent of fighting as a main event. But what was the overall experience like for you at 304?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was I looked at that as my redemption, coming back and giving the UK fans the performance they actually deserve from me. Coming off the first one wasn't the performance even the fans deserve. So it was good to come back and right that wrong. And yeah, I thought it'd be a lot tougher than it was, but I'm not complaining. I went in, got the job done, and got out, and showed the level I was comparing to my opponents. So yeah, it was good being back in the UK, Manchester. The time zone, like you said, for me wasn't a big difference. I was fighting at like 12 o'clock, so it was like a main event. And yeah, I think just the whole experience being in the UK. I do prefer fighting abroad. I'll be honest. I
Mm.
like getting, like isolated and getting on that plane and just disconnecting and focusing. But yeah, overall it was amazing. The UK fans are always like lively, so I can't complain.
What's the dream? Is there a dream fight destination that you have? Is there somewhere that you'd like to board a plane from Heathrow or Gatwick and go, I'm going to fight in such and such a city or in such and such an arena?
It would actually it would be Vegas, but it would be in the T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
I was kind of like gutted this fight wasn't a week later because that's
Mm.
like Vegas at the T-Mobile. So that's the dream destination for me. It always has been, and it's cool because I fought in Vegas twice. So that kind of flight is going to feel very similar, but just going to an arena instead of the Apex is going to be the little touch, the little final touch. So yeah, I can't. That's what I'm looking forward to, and it will happen. This is just a step to get to there.
Well, talking about next steps, obviously, I'm sure you're not looking past your opponent, but what do you feel like winning this fight and being on a three-fight win streak would unlock for you next in your career?
Yeah, I ain't looking past March 1st, but uh, if I go out there, I get the victory. I plan on getting, I believe that's 3-0. It all depends on how the victory. For me, if I go out there and have a 3-round war, then maybe I need one or two more. But if I go out there and smoke this guy as well in the first round, that's three fights on the first round finishes. Then it would be a step up in competition. I think it'll be someone maybe getting me close to that top 15 or someone at the end of that top 15. So yeah, I think it all depends on the performance I put out on March 1st. And that's kind of the only thing I'm focused on. Everything else will fall into place, but I've got to go out there and win on March 1st for all of that to happen.
Do you feel like your performances last year put you on the radar in terms of the matchmakers in the welterweight division in terms of your upside?
No, I don't. I think I'm still an unknown because I went in there and really smoked. No offense to my opponents, I just think I got the submissions pretty relatively easily.
Mm.
Got the takedown, got the finish pretty unscathed. I think it's I'm kind of the unknown. They don't really know. Obviously, you can tell I got good grappling, but yeah, people haven't seen my whole game, and I kind of like it like that. It's the unknown that's going to get me that
Mm.
skyrocket. Yeah.
Look, mate, you've always been such a nice guy, and we've always had such a great relationship. So I don't hope you don't mind me asking you this, but I don't anticipate there's going to be a Sam Patterson heel turn where you start calling people out and start going behind the bus, going below the belt, and start trash talking people. But we do know that that route can sometimes get people up the rankings and get places that they want to get to. Are you
Yeah.
almost happy to take the slow route if it means sticking to the way that you are and being polite and being respectful? Is that something that you're prepared to do, if you will?
Oh, definitely. Like I will stay true to myself the whole way through. Um, Even if I wasn't even to get to where, let's say, like make millions of pounds, I'd rather stay true to myself and earn half of that. I ain't willing to break any of that. The way I was raised, the way I am, I'm very respectful. I don't need to trash talk. And you see the people that trash talk me, I just go in there and I'll put it. I've got 15 minutes to beat you up for it. So I don't need to trash talk. I understand there's a different path that gets you there faster, but I love competing. I love fighting. So if I have to take the slow route and fight more, then really that's a win for me.
Mm.
Yeah, people look at some of my fights and think I'm disrespectful because I don't touch gloves before, but I've got nothing but respect. I'm just there to do a job, and I'll show you the utmost respect after the fight and even before the fight. But like when we're in that cage, it's go time. So that's kind of my mentality, and I'll stay true to myself to the very end.
Yeah, very well said. Don't want to rub any more salt in the wounds with UFC London, but do want to get your thoughts on the main event since it is in your division. Do you think Leon Edwards gets the win over Jack Della Maddalena, or do you think the Aussie takes probably the biggest scalp of his career?
No, I think Leon gets the job done. I think especially coming off the Belal fight, this is on normal time as well, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
being in the O2. So I think it's going to show the level Leon really is compared to fighting at 6 in the morning.
Mm.
Showing that, yeah, I think Leon gets it. I think Leon gets the job done. I think it's a great fight, and I look forward to watching it as a fan. But I think the difference being that 6 in the morning is Leon, yeah, will go out there and get the job done.
Do you think that's an underappreciated factor in the main event between Leon and Belal?
Um, I think it played a factor maybe for everyone in on the card, in the fact that I didn't feel a difference, but I didn't fight at 3 in the morning.
Mm.
Even the guys fighting at 3 in the morning, it's 4 in the morning. That isn't a normal time to be fighting in your hometown. Now. So I can imagine that played a factor. Whether it did or not, he would know. I don't know, but yeah, I think it is a factor because even when you go to like when I go to Vegas, I'm going a few days earlier to climatize to the time zone.
Mm.
So we do it. So it is a factor. So when you do fly to different countries, that being a factor does matter, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see when he goes out there on normal time in the O2 and goes out there and looks sharp and everything. People will go, well, it was a factor because look at him at the O2 on normal time. But till that happens, we don't know, and only he will know because yeah, I can't imagine fighting at 6 in the morning. I did stay up and I watched the fight, but I was chilling on a bed in the hotel, just relaxing, watching the fight. I wasn't having to get up and fight someone. So yeah, it's mad.
Mm. And want to get your thoughts on what feels like the upcoming title fight in your division between Belal Muhammad and Shavkat Rakhmonov was previously booked, but obviously Belal fell out. Just your thoughts on how you see that one going if and when that gets booked.
I'd say I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but I'm sure that is next. I think it's a great fight. I think Shavkat is. I think the thing that he has, he knows how to win. Like he's undefeated, obviously, but he just knows how to win. It's kind of like Duplessis. He just finds a way. He just knows how to win. It doesn't look like he's dominating everyone. He's brilliant, and Ian Gary done very well against Shavkat, but he just finds a way to win. He knows how to win, and I think that could be the factor. But I wouldn't look past Belal. Belal, he's an underdog as well. People kind of overlook Belal. I feel like a lot of people you see on like media and stuff talk kind of down on him, but I think he's an animal as well. So I believe it's whoever gets their game plan going first and then can sustain that for 5 rounds or whoever gets the finish, obviously.
Last one from me before we turn the conversation back to you. Does Tom Aspinall get the Jon Jones fight that we all want to see so much?
Well, I'm in the bracket with everyone else who wants to see it. I
Mm.
hope so. But that's like everyone in the world wants to see
Mm.
it. So yeah, I can only hope like everyone else is. I believe that is the fight to make. I believe, yeah, I think it will happen. I think Dana said it will happen, so we can only go off that. Let's hope it happens.
Yeah. Well, last one from me, and thank you so much for your time as always, mate. Talk me through what a perfect fight day looks like on March 1st. From morning to night, walk me through what the perfect fight day looks like.
Perfect fight day. Get up, nice and relaxed. Go get some breakfast. Have a little shakeout in the morning. Move the body. Enjoy the day with my team. I got my whole team out there with me, so we'll just laugh, joke, take the mick out of each other, and then I hit the switch. I go out there, I perform. Whether I'm ready for a 3 round war, but if I can go out there, perfect day, I finish this guy in the first round, and that is it. That is all I've looked at. I can't tell you what happens after because I haven't fought past it. I have literally only visualized my hand being raised. So whatever happens after that happens. But my perfect day starts and ends with my hand being raised.
I love it. Well, look, mate, always good to see you back in action. Thank you for your time. Have a great and safe rest of camp, and best of luck for the next fight.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you having me on again.